up, everybody? Welcome back to the Artisan Depth Podcast. Back with us for the fifth, sixth, or seventh time, whatever it is.
One of those.
One of those. For the second time, fifth and second time, because my dumbass deleted the first time.
Second first.
The second first. Evan McClimans, what's going on, man?
Not a lot, man. I'm so grateful to be back.
Hell yeah, man. Also with us, the great Stephanie Bass, chef extraordinaire.
Hey, y'all.
Chef Steph to you.
My favorite people.
Yeah, man. So what has been going on, brother?
A lot. Just staying busy, working, networking. The whole evolution from how everybody's operating after the Corona thing has been unique. There were so many plans. I mean, again, I said it last time, like everybody got hit with this.
Yeah.
And how does anybody complain about it? But what happened to me specifically, this was going to be my third year having my own business, and I had some big plans, and I was about to launch into some stuff, and I had one huge job with the historical foundation, and that was gonna launch me to that next level because I was gonna invest big numbers into my business and start buying tooling and things to start getting me into like more of a manufacturing deal where I could have people doing things and just money being generated instead of like me hoping I could do something for the day.
Yeah.
And I was 2 weeks away from getting that check that was going to do it all. And then everything shut down, and the job is still there. The historical foundation, they've been looking out for me. They've thrown me a couple of jobs here and there as they can, but they're suffering too, as is everybody. And they're a tourist driven industry. So
tourist driven and art driven, which the art scenes have been smacked.
They got hit real hard. So I can't complain, but it definitely was a hit for me, and it altered a lot of my plans for my business. And what it did do, however, is offer a lot of time for me to reinvent what I'm doing, and as far as art and welding and the things and who I am and the people I surround myself with, and
which a lot of people did and should still do, because we're not seeing the end of this anytime soon.
And you know what? The Galveston art community, they came together like I've never seen a group of people that just looked out for people like that. Yeah. And I was blessed. I had this, I have a few hustles going on. I've got money coming in from everywhere I can, just because, being self-employed doesn't mean that's my only source of income. And
well, that's the definition of being self-employed.
Right.
You can do
make your
multiple
money,
avenues.
Make your money. So I was blessed that I wasn't really hurting through the lockdown. Like, I had money coming in. I never got unemployment. In hindsight, I kind of wish I had, but I was always scared that they were going to be like, you have to pay it back. And I didn't want to do that. So I never got the unemployment, but the only plus for an artist to Corona and the lockdown was it gave me a lot of time to find my mediums, and perfect it and get into what it was that I really loved about my art. And I saw a lot of other artists on the island. A lot of my friends really blossomed from having that time to just, or be forced to have that time to be like, well, I'm going to be creative now, and allowing them to get in their heads and create some of the, I've seen some beautiful work come out, songs, music, art, some of the people that just had time to do nothing else but create what they're good at. And I don't know, it's a lot of people, they ran a business, they got hurt by it. They had to change their whole lives. But as far as the art community goes, I don't know, I saw an evolution that just brought a whole lot of really beautiful things out of it. So
a lot of people had extra time on their hands, and well, especially for artists. Like with our scene being dead and people not necessarily buying things, it gave a lot of people time to make stuff and build up stock. And I know since it's been a solid year, just about. It's actually been, it was a year today. We're recording this, I believe. It's on the news this morning.
I got some memories on my Facebook about us doing this the first time.
Well, that and the second year anniversary is coming up. Yeah, but it's been a year since the first U.S. COVID case.
Oh yeah.
Which was like today or yesterday or something like that. But
It's weird.
but since it's been a solid year, I see a lot of people, including myself, that have been building up shows and just or having things to show. Like I got a good stack of framed works now because of this thing, and especially like Steph's like shading work and everything is like greatly improved because there was multiple.
On point.
Yeah, there was multiple hours we were just sitting and drawing, and like it's really incredible. She's redoing some of her old pieces, and it's really cool seeing how much the style has just sharpened in just like a year.
And I mean, I'm really proud of all my art friends and how they've honed their skills over this whole thing. And I think last time we did this, we were talking about how artists were some of the few people that really benefited from the lockdown as far as what do we do? Because we're already used to having a hobby. We're already used to having a medium and an outlet.
Yeah.
And this whole, you have to now be introverted and be alone and you're supposed to socially distance. And most artists I know are like, this is what I do. Mm-hmm. So cool. Now you're telling me I got to do it and you're going to throw me some money for it. A lot of artists, a lot of people I know and respect really got good at what they do over the lockdown. I feel bad for people that don't or haven't realized their medium yet and were bored out of their minds. And like, this is the time for you to find that piece of you that can make other people be like, wow, you did that.
Yeah. No, for real. I mean, especially when, everybody, especially a lot of adults, had more free time than they've had since they were kids.
I think you said it was like a summer camp for adults.
Oh yeah, no, it was like another summer vacation. Like when's the next time you would have like a pure, especially if you're fortunate enough to be able to get your bills paid and everything. But luckily we had some cash saved up when it first happened, so we were, like that first solid month and a half. Everything was covered and there's no work, sleep as long as you want, stay as long as you want, do whatever you want.
Yeah. It's like being a kid adult.
Yeah. So it's like, man, what am I doing with all this free time? And a lot of people picked up a lot of new hobbies and figured out, stuff they didn't know about themselves or stuff they wanted to do. And, I was luckily able to, work on some drawing and like hone in some stuff, but also, like, figure out other stuff I'm into. I got real into bartending, after going back to work. So
I tried to make sure everybody I knew wasn't hungry. That was it. That was all. Like, look, I can't pay your bills, but if you're hungry, I'll make you a sandwich. Like, come over. Like, I'm doing well enough to feed you if you're hungry. So don't suffer if you don't have to. But I ain't paying your electric bill or anything. Yeah. And I saw a lot of people do that actually. Just especially around NHL and all the people in that whole scene. It was like, if you're struggling, like, let us know. We'll pull together as a community and we'll figure it out as a whole. And that's why I love this island, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's so I know we talked about some of the things you did over the thing last time, but I think we go back over them. So you're doing the weight set. The custom weight set right now.
Yeah, Natasha and I are doing a lot. She is a strongman competitor, and she's a beast, and she's one of my favorite people. And she wants to learn how to make her own stuff because she don't want to buy new things, and she's good with her hands, and I'm a welder, and so she and I collaborate on a lot of things. So we've made a couple of things together, and this last time we made these Atlas balls, which is these big concrete balls that they pick up and set down. And the heaviest one you can pick up is, the winner. And I am interested in this whole, I've never really made anything quite like what she needs. So I'm interested in just helping her out because I get to learn something new. And she's a lot of fun to hang out with. And the stuff that she's doing, and I mean, she's a little beast. Like, she's funny, she's smart, but as strong as she is, it's fun to see what she needs to further her competitive nature, and I really like being a part of it. and I'm trying to get her start her own brand. But we're getting there.
Like own brand of like just like workout gear.
Well, like on her knuckles, she's got Cat's Meow tattooed across her knuckles. So I was like, why don't we paint all your shit pink and put Cat's Meow on it and start selling it as like female heavy lifting workout equipment? And
that's a real niche market. Nobody really does that.
Right? Because there is a small culture of women bodybuilders out there and have their own brand of things that are specifically for women. And
there's a female bodybuilder that knows Mike that works over at OCB.
Okay,
it was one of his friends. Her name is Crystal. She like got into doing that like female bodybuilding, but she bought like 4 pairs of shoes from me though.
Okay,
through Mike.
So why not? I'm just trying to help my friend find a way to. She likes bodybuilding, and I'm trying to help her get into her own brand. I want nothing from it. I'm not expecting anything for it. I'm trying to help my friend better herself, and she's really good at it. So we make a lot of stuff, and the next project she has is, I don't know. There's names for all these things. There's this. It's basically a bar with a plate on the bottom, and you can put full like 45-pound weights or whatever size, and the idea is to just pick it up and carry it. So we're gonna make those next, and then what's called a Viking press, and we've got all these different ideas for things for her to help her be a competitor. And I just like helping somebody build things. It's fun. And it doesn't hurt that she's my good friend. So that's a lot of fun.
So other than the Atlas balls, what's some of the other stuff y'all made so far?
Okay, so I can't quite remember the name of it, but it's back in the old days in Scotland, they would carry these stones that resembled coffins, and they would I forget the name of them, but she came over and I had some sheet metal, and we made this large coffin shaped thing that you can put weights in, and you can weigh it. They can make it as heavy as you want, and they pick them up and carry them a certain distance. And I taught her, I was teaching her how to weld on that project. So I was like, I'll show you how to weld, and you can do the work, and I'll just monitor and make sure nothing's screwed up, and everything comes well. And she learned it right away. The welds she put in were great, and now she has the gym she trains at has this. I just cannot remember the name of it, but it's this coffin. It's huge. It's like 3 feet tall, and I want to say it's like 2.5 feet wide, and it looks like a coffin, and they pick it up and they carry it around. And I mean, it's nothing I want to train to do, but that's what she's into. So more power to her, right? I think eventually, I keep pushing on her to copyright her brand and do that whole thing, but eventually, hopefully, she'll get into that. And who knows? Maybe we'll have like another island famous person in whatever they went out and became famous at.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's definitely a lot of talent potential on the island for sure. Like within the art scene out here, as small as it is, it's very. Like I've said 1 billion times on the show, it's very, very rich art scene.
Oh man, that's what my biggest draw to this place and staying is just the community as an art community in general. Like once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, and it's a lot of creative minds to kind of like feed off each other in a sense of like like that creative energy. Like since there's always people making stuff, it just makes you kind of always want to make things.
Yeah.
But I noticed. Like a lot of people didn't make stuff for a while because, especially a lot of the artists that make a lot of their money selling things like Art Walk and everything. There's been galleries all over Texas and places shutting down because, no one can go out and view these things. And then also because of we had like a little mini recession there. Like nobody really had spending money just to blow on things like art. I got nothing but respect for the galleries that have managed and the places that have managed to stay open during this whole thing. Like, it takes a strong mindset to have pulled through this, especially with, I don't have a lot of overhead. I live in my shop. Like my overhead is low. That's why my expenses aren't really, when
when I go weld for people, it's cheap, and they think, wow, you're not charging enough. I'm like, well, I don't have a $4,000 a month overhead.
Yeah.
I have a fraction of that, so I can charge less, and that's why you're paying me, and I'm still technically making just as much, but I don't have 10 employees. I got to worry about their salaries.
Exactly.
And so I have nothing but respect for the businesses that have managed to stay open during this whole thing. I am not a great businessman. I'm a good artist. I'm a good welder, but running a business is not a strong suit of mine. And for the places that have managed to pull through this and maintain employees and pay people and keep them on staff and then stay open and keep their overhead covered, I have nothing but respect for them.
Yeah.
Like it was not easy, and I'm barely treading above water. So it's to see the people that have, and especially art galleries, and especially places that are extra money places, like an art gallery. This is not a grocery store. I have to buy carrots and food and things to eat. I don't need to go to a gallery and buy art. And for an art gallery to stay open during all this, I have nothing but respect for those places, because I've seen so many places shut down that could have stayed open but didn't because of poor money management. And having seen all the places that survived this, I hope they continue to stay open, because those are the capitalist businesses. They figured it out and they know how to make their money. So good for them. Nothing but respect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping to learn a little bit how to do that, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Well, I'm actually really excited to see when things start, because eventually, I mean, like, humanity's been through this multiple times. Like, shit gets weird for a little bit, things kind of fall off and die off because of it, and then it eventually ends and stuff starts to reflower. But there's gonna be a whole lot of new stuff popping out of this, and there's also different social norms now. Because a lot of I've even heard some artists, and if y'all are listening, like, please take note of this. Artists saying, like, well, it might be too late to, like, make a brand of my own masks or something, or do something, because we may not be wearing them soon. I'm like, dude, masks aren't going anywhere.
Oh yeah, no,
for a while. They're here to stay, man. There's a whole new batch of anxieties people got because of this stuff. So even if they told you, even if the CDC was just like, yeah, you really don't have to wear masks anymore, people are still gonna wear them.
Right.
It's a whole thing. Because it used to be the 3-part wallet check, or the pocket check, the phone keys, wallet. Now it's phone
1,
keys,
2, 3,
wallet.
4.
Now it's 4.
Yeah.
Mask is just as important as your wallet nowadays. Whenever you're leaving the house, so.
I've adopted the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like keys, wallet, phone, mask, and I rock the mask. I'm a masker. I mean, I respect businesses. I try to make sure when I walk in, I'm covered, and there's people that don't. They choose not to wear them. And, what do you say? It's kind of like, okay, look, if you respect my space, which is 6 feet over there, then I'm cool with you not wearing a mask because I'm wearing one. But, like, if you're not going to wear a mask, at least understand that there's a fucking worldwide pandemic and stay away from me. Like, don't come get in my face and talk to me like I'm your friend because you want to borrow a pen or something. Like, I don't keep the pen, I don't know what you're into anymore. And I personally don't know anybody that's gotten COVID for real. My landlord, he got sick. He said he had COVID, but he pulled out fine and then surrendered.
Yeah.
Tested positive, stayed with Georgia and Adrian. They were negative. They quarantined for like 3 weeks. He never had any symptoms. And then after 3 weeks, he came up negative. Becky, same thing. She came up positive. No symptoms, no nothing. She was fine. She quarantined, came back negative, nothing. So,
yeah.
I personally haven't had to deal with anybody really getting sick from this. So, my conspiracy theory brain tends to lean towards the and then, but then again, I know people that say that they know people that have personally gotten it and they've gotten real sick from it, and some people have died from it. And okay, well, I can't discount that, but it's such a weird thing. There's so many. Someone was telling me that they got diagnosed with COVID, and there was a story about this lady. She went to the hospital and got diagnosed with COVID and came up positive or whatever, and they were at a gas station, and 20 minutes later she was dead, and they blamed it on COVID.
Well, the hospitals get money for that shit,
right? But instant death all of a sudden, and then it's so hard to know what to believe anymore about it, and it's just like, look, if you're unhealthy. The last time I was talking to somebody about it, was like, all these unhealthy people are getting it and dying from it. I'm like, well, I mean,
the regular flu do that too.
The very beginning of your sentence kind of leads into the unhealthy people, like the people that they do not take care of themselves. They smoke 2 packs a day, and they probably on the larger side of being a human. And okay, well, if you don't take care of yourself, and there's a national virus going around, well. Evolution is what it is. Survival of the fittest. So that's people don't like that saying anymore. It's offensive to some, but it is what it is. And
it really doesn't help when it comes to the actual statistics of like how many people really are dying from it, because it's been found out that hospitals were lying.
See, and that's the other part.
Cases where families were in the room when the deceased person passed, and or the patient passed. Sorry, and whenever they read the death certificate later, and it was said as COVID, it's like, well, hold on now, because you said they were tested.
They've been dying of cancer for 10 years.
Yeah,
or the 7 gunshot wounds, and they died of COVID.
Yeah,
secondary cause of death was the 7 gunshot wounds, or a staph infection of the brain. And I mean,
it's like COVID was already in his lungs, but it was the gunshot in his lungs that made the COVID worse, right?
So it's so hard to know what to believe. I'm taking my own precautions. I'm fortunate that I got really nervous. I got a sore throat last week, and I was like, okay, well, what's going on here? I started doing all the emergency and vitamins and things, and doing all the stuff for a sore throat. And a day later, I was fine. It was just an afternoon, one day thing. I woke up, kind of my lymph node in my throat was swollen, and then the next day I was totally fine. Been totally fine since. And got checked, came up negative, just to be sure, because you never know. But now it's one of those I got a sniffle, I need to go get a COVID check. I'm like, well, you might just have allergies. Don't forget what allergies were. And
and also runny nose isn't a symptom either.
I mean, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes when I leave the house, I'll hit a bowl and walk out, and I'll be at the store and be coughing from earlier, and people looking at me well, I don't know how to say this in public, but I smoked weed earlier. I'm coughing because of that. I'm fine, but I got a little.
I'm actually here getting a drink, so I can get rid of this.
Yeah. So don't smoke a bowl and then go to the pharmacy. That's a bad idea, especially if you're still choking over it, because everybody's gonna stare at you all get out of the store. Mm-hmm. I learned that lesson. You might cut that out. I don't know. It's up to you, but I don't care.
I don't care either.
It's the one thing about this entire change in our whole society is how these children we know are going to grow up with it, because that's got to really fuck with them.
Every generation has its own paranoias that have been preset from whatever happened around what they grew up in, right? So just how we had the baby boomers who were maybe
they had to do the nuclear, get under your desk for her nuclear bomb test and all that.
Don't really want to spend a lot of money. Maybe you're still if they're really into, if they really have dementia right now, maybe they're just still believing in rations or something like that. And I only mean that as an example, but maybe in 50 years, this might be the generation of kids who are huge germaphobes, Grandpa always wants to wear a mask whenever we go out in public, even though it's weird and unheard of maybe in 50 years from now. But it's this is something that's going to be in the history books.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Today, actually, this was really funny. I had to go to the bank. I had this issue with the drive-thru. I had to go inside and talk to him. And I was standing at the door of my bank, and they were put your mask on. And the bank was telling me to cover my face and come in and deal with them. And just before COVID, that was a no-no. You didn't walk into a bank with your face covered because immediately people were like, throw your wallets, get on the ground. Like it's a weird mindset culturally where now it's like, if you don't have your mask on, you're not welcome. If we don't really know who you are, come on in. and that the cop inside my bank was like, put your fucking mask on. It was just the whole time I was like, you realize a year ago, you would be arresting me for this.
Yeah, like a year ago today.
It's like he'd be wearing like a paper mask and they're telling you to put a cloth mask on.
Yeah.
You know, they said that like the N95 are the most efficient, but you know what the real, like the best mask out there, like the one that'll really protect you? You know what it is?
Stay home?
No.
What?
The mask of steel.
I've honestly, this whole time, I just want to reduce my carbon footprint. I have not bought the N95. I've been wearing a bandana. This guy right here, I have like 4 of them. I wash them, and I've been trying to because I read somewhere that they're anticipating 1 million of these disposable masks being put into the ocean this year, just from this. And then since masks aren't going anywhere, and all these people are like environmentally conscious, but they're buying these throwaway masks, and it's, to me, it's the same as when they came out the Keurig or those little plastic tabs around the gallons. When you throw those, this is like this redundant piece of plastic that like people just throw away and don't think about it. And I don't know. I'm not like super planet Earth guy, but I've been trying to not.
But enough to be not like just, negligently littering.
Exactly. So, if I drop a bandana, it's cotton. If it ends up somewhere, it'll biodegrade eventually. I don't know. I feel better about losing this. And it's hard to lose a bandana. I mean, it's harder to lose a bandana than it is the mask. But I don't know. That's been my whole angle, is like, I'd rather not contribute to this massive pile of trash that these masks are going to produce, because everybody got to buy masks all of a sudden, right? And then you wear them once or twice and throw it away. And I see them in the street every time I go downtown. There's some, and you can't pick them up. I like to pick up trash. When I see trash, I pick trash up. If there's a beer can or whatever in my alley or whatever, I throw it away, because I'm trying to make Galveston be prettier. But you can't pick up a mask because you don't know where the fuck that was. You don't know who had it on. You don't know if it's dirty. You don't want to pick something up and all of a sudden you get sick. So
you gotta pick it up with a stick.
I mean, I don't usually walk down the street with a trash stick.
Exactly. Exactly. So, who's got a trash stick on?
It's just, to me, I don't know. I love this island too much to make it dirty, and to see people just throwing this shit on the ground and then seeing it blow down the road like a tumbleweed. It's. I do what I can, but again, if maybe we should all carry tongs around so we can pick trash from other people up and throw it away responsibly. But who carries tongs? So I'm trying to do the bandana thing. That's just for my own peace of mind, as far as not wearing a disposable mask. People have given me them because on occasion in the beginning, I kept forgetting my mask. Every time I walked out of my shop, I'd get all the way there and be like, damn it! Mm-hmm. Damn it! I gotta go home. I'll be right back. Or, where's the nearest store? I'll just buy a bandana, because, or on occasion, maybe I knew somebody at the bar and they were like, here, just wear this mask for now. Go sit down. You can take it off. But,
yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I mean, I think, Steph and I, we're pretty good about bringing our masks. I think I've worn a disposable mask like less than 10 times, maybe even less than 5 times.
Good for you.
Because I don't. Well, that's one of the first things I thought about whenever, because it was a couple months in, and it wasn't even this bad yet, but it was when everybody was being super paranoid in the beginning, before it was even like in Texas really very much. But like, I saw one in the parking lot. We got out of the car, and there's just one in the parking lot. And I was like, oh shit, these things are the new straws.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna be everywhere now. They're
keep it out of the ocean, guys. Just keep it out of the ocean. We need the ocean,
especially being a coastal town. I mean, actually, the last time we skated over to the Pier 21, there was one floating in the water, right there. So, especially like on the touristy things, like touristy boat things, you know, there will be a lot in the ocean once cruises start back up.
Yeah,
because cruise lines are going to be giving away plastic or disposable masks. People's going to be throwing them over the edge, or they drop them on the ground, they blow off the boat. Those are going to be all over the place.
I mean, honestly, if someone could figure out how to make an environmentally safe, biodegradable face mask that you can use for a day,
yeah,
that's the next bubble. I'm telling you. That, I mean, come on. Yeah, you can wear a mask and you're not going to infect the environment. You can throw that shit on the ground and be fine. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
So I can see that happening. I can see that being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm neither the knowledge or the time to figure it out.
Yeah, and everybody would, even if we needed to recycle them, there'd be like a brand new recycling bin. It'd be a hazardous waste bin with like the.
If somebody out there that's listening to this is a chemical engineer and you can figure out how to make a face mask that's biodegradable after 24 hours, bro, just take me to dinner once.
Or at least like a month or something.
You know,
or like or
however it goes. Something or something that you can wear on your face that if it got left out in nature, it would actually fertilize the earth somehow. I don't know if that's a possibility, but
yeah, no, it totally is. I mean, if they can make plastic cups to drink out of, they can make a face mask.
I mean, the hemp market needs to get on this already.
Yeah. Oh yeah, hemp disposable masks would be pretty sustainable. I mean, would think.
I wouldn't buy any other brand if they were available, but anyway.
No, this is good. This is still relevant because this is still art and this is stuff in Galveston and niches we're talking about, we're dealing with here. So I think all those things are really cool. Stuff people listen, somebody go invent these things for the love of God. Make yourself a millionaire. I'm not going to do it.
I'm not either. But look, just throw me a nod or a wink or hey, thanks for the idea. I don't know. Buy me a beer at a bar sometime. If you made $1 billion off my idea, at least give me one beer.
Yeah,
I don't expect much.
A beer, a drink, a check for $10,000, whatever makes you feel good.
Any of those three
would be on.
A fancy steak dinner at Applebee's.
See, you know, all four. I like what Steph was saying. Steph was saying all three. Throw in that Applebee's.
Oh,
sign me up.
Whew.
We get some $2 Long Island iced teas.
Oh, I don't know how they do that. I still don't. That's old lady hangover right there.
It's like an ounce from everything in the well.
Essentially, right. Yep.
Honestly, like one top shelf drink pays for that.
Yeah, $2. minus the whiskeys. Yeah, it's everything.
Just call it the garbage.
Going for results.
Yeah.
So, man, do you have anything coming up or anything in the works?
Actually, yeah.
We should be looking out for here.
So, the Galveston Cultural Arts Commission, I may have not gotten all the words correct in that one. It's a new title this year. They finally, it's been in the works for a while. They finally got approved for their budget. They got, I want to say $50,000, and they did a call to artists and anybody that has a project that could benefit the island. If you present all the right paperwork, and they have a criteria list of things, and once you present all the right paperwork, you can be awarded up to $5,000 to create some piece of art that benefits the city. And I want to say about 2 years ago, the Galveston Historical Foundation was sort of trying to make space in one of their warehouses where they keep all their Dickens on the Strand material and props and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then this huge tree trunk in there. I mean, it was like 6 feet long and I'm about 3 feet around. This massive oak tree trunk that fell out of the Ashton Villa property over on Broadway. And they were sitting, it fell after Hurricane Ike. Hurricane Ike messed this tree up enough. They had to cut it down and it was tragic, but it had to be done because hurricanes will do that to trees. And they sat on it for 12 years and they were planning on doing something with it and never got around to it. And one day they needed some space and I happened to be there and they were like, do you want this tree trunk? And I'm a welder. I'm a metals guy. You can give me an old tree trunk. I don't have a clue what to do with it at all. But so at first I was like, no, I don't want it. And then I went home and I sat and thought about it and it just kept haunting me. Like just something about it was like, you need to say yes. You need to accept and take this tree trunk because it's going to be something. You can turn it into something. You're creative enough. You've done work before. Take this tree trunk. So I went back to my people over at GHF and I was like, hey, if you want it out of your way, I'll get it out of your way. And they're like, cool, just move the damn thing. We need it gone.
Yeah.
So my plan for now, and I'm working on all the paperwork. I'm going to take 2 slices of this log. And I mean, this thing is huge. And I want to say I'm gambling on it being about 100 years old. And each tree ring each ring of the tree that was an actual, significant hurricane that hit the island, I'm going to burn that ring with a wood burner and write the name of the storm and the year and all that. Oh. And we're gonna put some polyurethane on it, make it shiny, neat looking, and we're gonna put some lighting on it. And I'm gonna build a frame for it. And the idea is that we're gonna hang it in City Hall somewhere so that it's a piece of art. But if you look at it, you learn a little bit of Galveston history, because it came from a historical property on the island. It's this old oak tree, which old oak trees on this island are a thing. Like you drive down Sealy and they just hang over the street. And to have an a piece of this old oak tree that it's rare now. They're not available anymore. Like after Ike, you could get them anywhere. They were just throwing them away because the storm screwed up so much stuff.
Uprooted a bunch of them.
Right. Well, now, unless, God forbid, another hurricane comes through and destroys everything like it did, there's not a lot of oak trees that are available, especially out of historic properties, which makes this one significant. So the Historical Foundation is in on it. I've got the Galveston Tree Conservancy in on it. I've got the Historical Foundation in on it. And I've done all this paperwork and I'm submitting it. Actually, it's supposed to be, the deadline is February 1st. So I'm getting all this paperwork done. I was working on it before I actually came here. And my plan is to, I don't know. The first time I was interviewed with you, you asked me about what my artistic goals were, and I had 2, and one of them was to be a featured artist at the Proletariat, which we could talk about in a second because that's about to happen, and then the second one was to do something that benefited the island in some kind of artistic way, and so weirdly, both of those things are happening, and
at the same time.
At the same time, but one, I could not be more privileged and excited about how this whole artistic endeavor has worked out, because I had no idea what was happening. When you first interviewed me, it was just a gamble. I was throwing the dice, like, I hope it happens. And then I've been pushing on it, and I've done everything I could, and now it's actually happening. And so I have this potential, I have no guarantee yet, I have this potential to do an art piece that's going to be a part of Galveston forever.
Yeah.
And then I have this other opportunity to be a featured artist at one of my favorite galleries, the Proletariat. And that would be, right now, once it happens, will be the biggest artistic honor of my whole career. And
that's sick though, man, that we have that documented, talking about it. Now it's like
coming to fruition.
It's becoming a reality. I
can't believe it. So I'm so flattered, and I'm working really hard to make it happen, but I don't really know what I'm doing yet. I'm just kind of winging it. So it's coming together, but the apprehension and I'm trying to make it perfect and all the other things. It's it's a big deal for me. So I'm trying to make sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed and everything's just like it's supposed to be, because I don't want to put anything out there where I feel like a little bit like, there's a mistake. Even though...
What if you can skate that, man?
Well, you're an artist. You know, when you put a piece out, you're like, I know where all the mistakes are, but other people see it and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. You're like, well, if you knew what I knew. And so I want to make sure that when I put these 2 pieces of art out,
I feel good about it.
I have no compunction about it. I don't have no reserve. I have no I'm proud of this. I put my time in. I studied. I did my research. This is what it was supposed to be. And that you love it makes me just that much more proud of it. So that's
rhymes for a reason.
I'm really trying to be this next level professional about this art. Like usually I just make things because I'm inspired to, but this time there's a lot more things involved. Like I there's an expectation of delivery, and then, you know, I've had all these, like, a lot of people have to approve this. It goes to the city council. There's going to be a lot of people with eyes on this project that I've never had before. And that doesn't shy me away from it, but it definitely makes me want to be more sharp for it. You
Absolutely.
know? And it's an opportunity where I feel like professionally as an artist who, you know, like Gabe that does his murals. I have more respect for that man. And he and I don't really know him that well, but I respect the shit out of that dude, because as an artist, that guy is killing it. He's killing it. I wish I had a third of his talent. And all the mural people, Justin Lopez, that dude, he's doing amazing. And Adam Garrison, he's doing amazing. Those guys, they're doing mural work. I wish I had that kind of artistic talent. But
shout out to both, except Gabe. He hasn't been on yet, but shout out to Adam and well, actually, shout out to Gabe too, but shout out to Adam and Justin Lopez. Just for,
I really look up to all those guys. Like as far as artists go, every time I see them, I saw Justin the other day. He was doing a new piece over by Mod, and just.
Oh, that B piece.
I was like, hey man, let me go get you a coffee, you know, just to help them out. Like I really enjoy all the work that they do, and seeing how they have succeeded in this is inspiring for me to keep going. You know, like
hell yeah.
Like I don't have your talent, but I have my own, and maybe I can carve out my own. And
fuck yes, dude.
I can't weld something to the side of a wall like you can do a mural, but I can make something that people still like to see, and that's inspiring for me, is to watch what they do and then see how people react to it. And I like all the people that take pictures in front of their work, and it's HP. HP did that whole mural at Bruchachos. That fool is amazing. Like I'm in his truck. That I'm a big fan of his truck. All those guys are really talented, and I would love to be. It would be an honor to be considered at an artistic level as those guys, because they get a lot more work than I do. And I'm not even trying to compare myself with that, but like to be even considered in their ranks would be a privilege. I feel like.
Well, man, from the outside looking in, just as someone that's not in either of you guys like realms of mediums there, because, you know, I don't really do murals or anything, but what I can see though, man, is just from what you can do with metal, a lot of people can't do. Like kind of on the flip side of, you know, like maybe even those guys wish they could weld when they could do murals, and, you know, vice versa with you. But what's really cool about that though, man, is from the outside looking in, I'd put you on their level.
Well, thanks.
Just because, you know, like, just like they did, you're getting increasingly more things. And, you know, no matter what step they're on their individual level, you guys are the same in the sense of like, y'all took the same path, and y'all are still taking the same path. Because you have to, you know, you get your projects, you get compound over time. Right. You know, like, you know, you get one at a time for a while, end up getting like one or two at a time for a while, then three. And then you guys start putting holds on shit, like, well, I got these things, you gotta wait for a couple months, you know. You know, like, but it starts to compound, and then after a while, man, you gotta tell people to start hitting you up to schedule appointments and stuff. You know, you're not really looking, because, you know, when you get to like Gabe's level, you know, like doing the causeway, I mean,
oh man, those shits are gorgeous.
Literally, I mean, they paid for, what is that? 8 pieces from him because it's the front and the back of all 4 pillars.
Right.
The city paid for 8 pieces for him, and that's what everybody sees when they get on the island and when everybody sees when they leave. And from that,
it looks way better than it used to.
Yeah,
like she shined that shit up so well.
Well, and because they look all old and faded and sunburned.
It was gross.
But the thing about that is, though, is that for him, thousands of people drive by his shit every day. Just there. I mean,
even if they don't recognize what it is, they see it.
Yeah, but the thing is with that, he's he's been grinding for a long time, and he got to a level of, he doesn't need to go looking for projects anymore. He probably has so many people hitting him up for stuff that he has to tell a lot of people no. You get to that point where you start getting enough commissions if you grind long enough to where, you got to start, instead of you hitting people up for stuff, you got to start setting it up where they hit you up.
For the first time in my venture as a self-employed businessman, I had it's weird to say this, and I don't want to say it like I'm cocky, but someone asked me to come and do a job, and I was really busy, and I literally had to tell him, like, look, I don't want to sound overly pricey or anything.
Yeah.
But if your job, if you're not willing to spend $1,000 on it, I don't have time for you. And the second I said that, it was like this light bulb went off, and I literally it was like, I just told this person that, like, it's a weird transition because I remember when I started this, I would have done anything for $30. I was hungry.
But
ramen noodles.
You put your time in.
Though. Oh yeah, and now it's the growing and the evolution of it all, and the like. Look, I've got all this work going on, and if you want me to consider right now, if you want me to put you in the slot, like if you're not willing to spend this much money, I don't have time yet. Now, I understand that maybe you got a rusty gate hinge. Cool. I'm not going to say no to your work because I'm not going to say no to work, but I'm not going to come and help you out for $80 when I got $1,000 worth of work to do today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop my whole afternoon for that. So you're going to get bumped a lot. I'll get to you eventually, but there's a category of where my focus is.
Yeah.
And I am blessed that right now I get to kind of pick and choose. I like this work. I don't like that work. I'm not going to come work on your rusty whatever when I have this fancy new I can come over here and make twice as much on. And that sounds as I say it, I feel like I sound arrogant saying it, and I don't like that, but you graduate to different levels, like I started working on rusty gates and any kind of job I could get just to make a buck. And now I'm getting into more advanced things where I don't have time for the entry level kind of work that people want done. And, oh, my gate's rusty. I get a lot of that. Well, go spray some WD-40 on it, go down to a local college and find some hungry kid.
Like pour some CLR on that shit. Let it melt it all off,
And a lot of times I tell them, like, go to the local college and find someone in their third semester. They're usually pretty good by that time, and they can handle rusty gates. I'm not above it, but I don't have time for it at the moment. And
so it's like and also you've moved on to other things besides just little odd jobs. Like you've honestly, like, you've graduated your service to a point of, like, yeah, I mean, I would do this like 2 years ago, but now I'm at a point to where like, I got big ticket things I'm trying to do. And honestly, you've put in enough time and your skills risen enough to where it's like, I'm worth bigger projects now. And,
you say that, and I just noticed your what's his name? Why did I forget it? TJ, the Booker.
Oh, Booker T.
Booker T.
Yeah.
So
Booker T autograph on the wall.
I have apparently, thanks to Pete Hesh, love this motherfucker like that. That's my dude. He's big into wrestling, and now
Pete's been on the show. We talk about wrestling all the time.
Man, I love Pete. I would. That's my dude. I would be there for him for whatever reason. But he introduced me to Booker T's wrestling school, and now I fix their wrestling rings. On Friday, I'm going back up there to work on a bunch of stuff.
You're on their books as like.
Oh yeah, no, I'm their guy, and it's really neat because
so badass.
It's one of those clients where you're like, yep, this is why I don't have time to fix your rusty hinge, you know. I'm sorry, but I'm over here doing some large scale things, and even still saying that, my humble side is like, I don't like being arrogant, but as a business, I have to go to what's going to continue my business. And this is an avenue that's going to pay me enough to make sure I can stay open next month, you know? And I'm really excited about working with his school. I got the Historical Foundation. I've got the Railroad Museum. If you haven't been to the Railroad Museum in Galveston, y'all should go and check that out.
Highly recommended.
It is really cool. Even if you don't like trains so much, it's still really cool. Like their lobby is awesome.
It's gonna make you like trains.
It will.
And make you appreciate like what we got, because you know some of these like parlor rooms and stuff on these trains are insane.
Go and see my friend Sam. He's the curator at the Railroad Museum. He's a good dude. And he knows all about it. And like he's a buddy of mine. He's thrown me a lot of work. But how they run that stuff over there, you know, I've been very impressed with that whole place.
Yeah.
And those things kind of in general, I'm proud that I'm growing to that arena. And I hope someday I can take on someone that will handle those $30 hinge jobs. But until then, I'm just counting my blessings and moving forward and making sure I'm doing what I got to do to keep myself open to the next project.
Which is very important as being an artist, man. Be open to multiple mediums, multiple projects.
Yeah.
You know, don't be afraid to dabble.
And then, like I said, I don't know if I brought this up already, but in our first interview, my artistic goal was to be an artist, a featured artist at the Proletariat. And technically, and if they bring Art Walk back, I'm going to be a featured artist in August at the Proletariat.
Congratulations.
And thank you. Every time I think about it, I get goosebumps, and I think, oh, I don't have enough pieces ready yet, and that's my motivation, is I got to get all this stuff done.
You got them pre-show jitters, man.
Well, yeah, and it's even still, it's months away, 6 months, 6 months away, 8 months away,
7
months away, yeah,
6, 5,
somewhere
4,
in there. You know, 7 months. All of a sudden, 7 months has a funny way of turning into 3 days. Like, I didn't do anything. Oh crap! I gotta get all this done. But I am really looking forward to that, and I really hope that this stupid COVID thing doesn't get in the way of it, because I miss Art Walk. I miss that social circle of meeting all those people and walking down and drinking wine and looking at all the art and the new people and the like, who's up in what gallery. And I'm really hoping that comes back.
Well, and it created an atmosphere where art's the center thing, and it was really great for us because it puts people in a mood to buy art.
Yeah.
It puts people in a situation and a like kind of like how you dress up nice and go to a nice restaurant and you don't mind balling out $70 on a steak because I dressed up nice, I saved up some money, and I'm ready to look good in this atmosphere.
Plan for this.
Exactly. It's the same thing with Art Walk. You're like, yeah, I got some money, I put on my nice clothes, we're gonna be drinking, and I'm gonna buy something cool. It's like it was the whole thing of it, because you know
I used to make rent off Art Walk.
Yeah,
like
those Art Walk nights. Those Art Walk nights are insane because, you know, like downtown as a whole, like tens of thousands, if not on the big ones, hundreds of thousands of dollars of art would get sold.
You know, Art Walk was what taught me, where one person will see what you have for $50 and another person will see what you have, that same piece, for $600. Like, that's where I learned a lot as an artist, as far as like the street scene goes, because you'd be surprised. Someone will come up and be like, oh, this, I wouldn't give you $4 for it. And then someone will come along and be like, I'll give you $400 for this.
Oh, dude, it's all about interpretation, man, and it's all
their
like
backstory and like where it came, like what was the inspiration, and then as a still learning artist, I miss the lessons I was learning on a regular basis with Art Walk because I used to have a lot of places I would go and set up little art stands, like Sharkies or in front of Naked Mermaid or in front of Mod, and they would just let me put a stand up and try to sell stuff. Stew Garden, Bruchachos.
Yeah.
They were trying to support me because I've been working there for a long time. And it was, what was it? Number 13 used to do an art show as well. And I missed that one too, but it all changed. So, you know.
Maybe, who knows, if people are getting more comfortable, with still going out and wearing masks and doing things, they might bring it back anyway.
I hope they do, because
the biggest thing though is what we've learned from this past year is like, we should have already known this, but you really on a nation built on quote unquote freedom, you can't really force people to do much, especially when it's a crazy social norm. As much as it would help, and we do our part to play along, but as being someone that works in the service industry and service food industry, we're the second front line. The first front line is hospital workers and everything. Right. The second front line are the people that are still serving food and having to clear people's dirty plates and touch their dirty straws and forks and shit. Yeah. We're just as exposed as hospital people, honestly, in some situations.
And even in all through this, it amazes me how disgusting people still are.
Oh, it's insane. And well, especially because we work in a more high dollar place, you get a lot more conservative side folks that think it's all a hoax or don't care, or it's just a cold or whatever, and because of all that, we try to be safe and try to do our thing, but the main point is like, you really can't force it on people. And I think the only conservative ideal I agree with on this whole thing is like people should be allowed to choose if they want to go out and about or not, rather than forcing places to close down. Because if people want to take that chance with their livelihood,
or requiring places to enforce the mask rule, like
exactly
as a person that works in a bar, and I'm the enforcer, I'm the bouncer, I'm the guy that throws people out, and to set it up so that I have to like get mad at you because you didn't wear a mask. Like, I hate that. Like, I throw people out because you're causing a problem. You touched a server. You're arguing. You're being belligerent. You earned me throwing you out. But wearing or not wearing a mask and me getting in your face about it, to me, it's just,
man. Because people get aggressive, man, when you tell them to wear a mask. Like, it's insane.
I hate it.
Yeah,
and to put that on the bar, and that. Okay, it gives the bar a reason to just like, all right, put your mask on and fuck off. I don't mind being confrontational. I really don't. That's why I like being a door guy. But at the same time, I like being a door guy to be confrontational for reasons.
Yeah,
like you too drunk, you put your hands on a girl, you're cussing somebody out. You're making too much of a scene.
You're helping an establishment.
You are giving us a reason to throw you out. Not wearing a mask is so non-aggressive a reason to be like, get out of here. Like,
yeah,
I hate it, but that's what it is now. Like, honestly, I've been working still, even through the whole COVID thing, I have not been in one bar fight that was related to anything other than a mask. And like, I've been in a couple of them where I was like, you can't come in without a mask, and people got mad. And I'm like, I'm not here to, I don't know why you think I'm the negotiator. These are the rules, and that's what they pay me for. And
just like you should have an ID to drink. Like,
right.
It's a thing now.
Yeah.
Like,
have your ID. It's just what it is. You can take it off when you sit down. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, well, I didn't write the rules. That's how it works. You come in, you wear your mask until you sit down. You can take your mask off when you sit down. How it is beyond that, I don't. They don't invite me to the meetings where they make the rules.
Well, maybe if we just play along, this will go by a little quicker.
Or that's a proactive way to think. But I'm mostly like, wear your mask or I'm gonna throw you out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure to explain it. Like, this is your option. Like, wear your mask or fuck off. And if you don't wear your mask, I'm gonna come get in your face about it. And it used to be you were too drunk or you got in a fight with somebody, or somebody thought that they could be a little too comfortable with one of the servers and put a hand on some girl's ass, and they'd call me, and I don't mind throwing people out for legitimate reasons, but it just always bothered me throwing someone out because he didn't wear a mask.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like it's such an arbitrary kind of a dude, you really gonna make me do this?
It's a pain in the ass.
Like, you really didn't deserve me to put hands on you, but you're not putting mask on. Now I have to throw you out, and you're gonna get an attitude because now I have to put hands on you, and I don't wanna, because it would make me feel better if you would have like slapped a girl's ass, or if you'd have like cussed someone out, or if you would like try to, I don't know. My favorite was when people would come in and get drunk and try to eat food off of someone else's plate. I don't know if you know this is a thing, but some people think it's okay to just walk up to a stranger and eat food off of their plate. And I loved that, because I would in a heartbeat throw them out. And I was cool with it. I'm like, you cocky fuck. And gone. And I was, because that mindset of someone that's like, I'm going to eat your food. I like that mindset. I like throwing that mindset out of a bar because they think they're superior. And I'm like, I'm going to teach you a lesson today. And I have gotten a lot of people red in the collar over that one, because they thought they could get away with something, and I'm not the one. And now it's, look, please put your mask on, or I'm going to have to do my job.
Yeah.
And I don't find any pleasure in throwing someone out because they don't have a mask on. Like, that's all they were doing. That's all they were doing is they didn't pull it above their nose. Come on. I got no compunction about wanting to do that anymore. And
well, do you think that we have a good chance for Art Walk coming back just with masks, and maybe limiting gallery, like they do at the mall for stores, like they limit the amount of people in there, like they hire somebody at the door to.
That's the thing, is you got to hire someone to limit the amount of people coming in, which makes your costs go up, which is, I don't know. Like, yeah. I really hope that Art Walk becomes a thing, and then people can be responsible about it, and maybe the owners can be like, okay, 15 people in here at a time. It's a gallery, right? They're not huge places. Well, art people are not typically confrontational people. So you don't, I've never heard of any fight breaking out at Art Walk ever, not once. I mean, if it did happen, it might have been
it's the after hours that are already
somebody wanted a piece that somebody else wanted, and I'm going to pay this much. Nothing that would require any kind of like a police enforcement kind of deal. Yeah. So I really hope it comes back, just because of the community and just because of the camaraderie and like meeting people in social networking. But then again, social networking and camaraderie goes totally against the entire idea of social distancing, and it's tricky, man. Like, I wanted to come back, but at the same time, I would hate for the Art Walk to come back and then someone be like, oh, I got sick. Like, well, that's not the Art Walk's fault. That's your fault. That's, you didn't wear a mask, or you were doing something around somebody, or, be responsible. Because I don't know if anybody's noticed, but downtown Galveston's been operating like downtown Galveston, and everything's fine. So if Art Walk kicks off and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, I'm sick. Well, I feel like that's kind of your fault. Like, if you didn't take your own precautions, then, look out for you.
Yeah.
And don't expect other people to give a shit about you. Wear your mask.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not healthy, take your own precautions. Like, be aware that if you're not taking care of yourself, that this is one of those things that you need to look out for.
And by taking care of yourselves, everyone's taking care of each other.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing. And secure your own oxygen mask first, everybody. Put your mask on.
Yeah, wear it. It's not hard.
And even though the bag doesn't inflate, oxygen is flowing.
Yeah, it's not hard to wear a mask, and it's not a slam on your ego. Just wear the damn thing.
Well, Evan, it's been cool having you back, man.
I'm always happy to be here. I've been flattered to have been on your show as many times as I have. Like, I can't believe that I'm the guy that keeps coming back. Like, me? Really?
Yeah, man. You're.
I'm honored to be here.
Well, that's all. Yeah, man. Like we definitely appreciate you having on, and I'm really glad we got to do this twice in a row because my dumbass had to delete the first one.
This is the first time.
It's the first time. Everybody gets a redo. We're born again podcast.
I will say this. I feel like this time around, though, the last time it did kind of lull in the middle. And this time, though, I feel really great about the whole show. Like, I feel like we had a good time.
Yeah, well, that was also the first one back after a year.
Dust the dust off. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we had to. Speaking of CLR getting the rust off,
maybe it was a blessing.
Maybe it was.
But don't delete this episode.
No, I already have it pre-saved. It's been pre-saved this whole time.
Good. Good.
Yeah, so it's been on pre-save for like every couple minutes.
I lost my voice after the last episode, talking too much. I'm just kidding.
All right, man. Well, I guess everybody look out for if everything goes well, Proletariat Gallery, 23rd and Market Street, downtown Galveston.
Love to see y'all there.
And August Art Walk. Hopefully, we have Evan featured down there. Shout out to the Proletariat, always putting artists on. And everybody at NHAL, Becky running things over there. It's great. So, hopefully we see a rebirth soon.
I can't wait to come back someday. I hope you invite me back.
Oh yeah, man. You're gonna be back on probably 4 times this year.
I look forward to it.
All right. From myself, Devlin, and we say good night. Evan, we appreciate you, brother.
Happy Heckin' New Year.